Alright guys, and welcome back to Mr. Casual Scum Reads, and of course edits, my Immortal. When we last left off, we had just finished with Chapter 11, and we found out, of course, that Draco had somehow in some way killed himself through means that apparently he shouldn't have died, and Hagrid is of course a Satanist and had something to tell everyone and of course confessed his love to Ebony. So, let's see where this goes, and let's go ahead and keep fixing this so that we can make this work. I'm still calling complete bullshit on Draco being dead. I really hope we fix that a little bit later on. Anyway, let's continue. Chapter 12. Author's note. Stop f-ain. F-A-I-N-G. You're not even bothering to put the L in anymore. Just flaming. Stop flaming, okay? Hagrid is a pedo. Alright, you know what? It's okay to shorten that word. No one really says pedophile. Almost everyone says pedo. It's okay. 2, TWO, we've gone over the people thing. People in American, let's spell it with a C, schools, how about we spell that with an S as well, are like that. I wanted, once again, you and A are nowhere near each other on the keyboard, wanted to address the issue. How do you, Y-O-U, know Snap, once again it's Snape, isn't, need the apostrophe or split it up, Christian. If you're going to make fun of the religion or have them be Christian, you can at least do them the service of spelling it correctly. Capital C and H. Plus, Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric. Don't know much about the books, but I'm pretty sure Cedric was spelled with a C. Okay. Well, if Hagrid wasn't in love with Ebony, then why'd he screaming at the top of his lungs while going in on his broomstick, doing a rendition in your original take of a Gothic 50 Cent song, and in my course-corrected version, a Marilyn Manson tune? So, if that's supposed to be Cedric, you need to rewrite that part and have that be Cedric. I don't care if he's standing off in the corner. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care if he's the one wearing the cloak. He needs to be the one that says it. You can't have Hagrid being the one that says it then if you're going to say he's not in love with Ebony. Okay, well that was just the author's note. Let's try to get into the chapter. I was about to slit my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago gave you? When the fuck did a Rocky IV villain get into your store? Oh, Draco, of course, had given me in case anything happened to him. He told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must both go together. Well, when did he give you the knife? I mean, who better to use it on than a guy who just threatened to kill your boyfriend? If you had that knife, why did you not go after Voldemort? Instead, you just kind of let him hand you this gun. And why didn't you try to shoot him with the gun, for that matter? You're kind of really sound like you don't... your characters sound like you really don't care a lot about Draco. You say you do, but your actions are kind of misleading. But I knew we must both go together. No! I thought it was Hagrid. It's Hagrid, but it was Vampire. He started to scream, OMFG. I will accept it. No! My scar hurts. And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. His red whites? How about just the whites? How about, rolled up. You can see the whites of his eyes. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? Who's talking? Okay, Vampire's talking. And that's fine for him to burst out all of a sudden, but how did you know? How'd you know what? He hasn't said anything. All he's done is scream in pain and agony. That doesn't really make sense. He doesn't seem to know anything. You haven't said that vampire has telepathy or or telekinesis. So this is really not making sense. We're gonna have to work on that one. No, I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me and I was covered up with foundation. I don't care how much foundation you put over a scar. I mean, it's you must be like caking yourself in it. It's probably still going to show through. And for you guys being Satanists, I think Mr. Potter would want to, really have that out in the open. That's a nice satanic symbol right on his forehead. Why would he want to cover that up? You should be proud of that. Just saying, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Save you from what? You mean he's in pain. Okay, fair enough. Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. What? Nothing could be happening to Draco. You killed him, remember? Voldemort has him bondage. Alright, we are probably only going to get through maybe one chapter at this rate. Okay, nothing could technically be happening to Draco, the person. Something could be happening to Draco's body because you already suicided him. Unless he's okay, which, great. That gives more... It makes it even more of vital importance that you go back and fix that in Chapter 11. 2, who is Voldemort? And was Voldemort not a typo? Does Voldemort really have this extended family? And if so, you really, once again, you have to introduce this, because right now this is becoming almost like a Scooby-Doo and a Scooby-Dum thing. You got Voldemort, Vlodemort, and Volfamort, and has him bondage. Once again, if you're trying to turn Voldemort into a perv, I guess he could have him bondage, maybe tied up to a tree, or maybe he's got him in the gimp suit with the gag ball. But if you're just going for maybe he's holding him against his will, maybe we could have Voldemort instead of Voldemort. We could have him holding Draco captive. Captive would be the word we could maybe put in there to make it so that he's just imprisoned at Voldemort's hands instead of something else at Voldemort's not hands. Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now, recovering from my slit wrists. You're recovering from your slit wrist? You slit your wrist so far ago? What do you mean you're recovering from it? You seem to be fine. You didn't seem to be doing too bad. I mean, you were a little woozy, but people get woozy after standing up too fast, so might want to maybe have yourself pass out in the previous chapter if you're going to go that route. Snape and Lupin and Hagrid, how about Hagrid, were there too. They were going to St. Mango's, sure, after they recovered because they were pedophiles. No, just call them pedos. If you're not going to spell the word correctly, and I already told you, almost no one says pedophiles. Most people say pedos. Just leave it at that. It's acceptable. And you can't have those fucking pervs teaching a school with lots of hot girls. Well, according to you, the only hot girls are you, Bloody Mary, and I think that's about it. You haven't really said anything else about any other girl or even mentioned any other girl, so they apparently, if they just can't be around you two, then I'm sure they could teach like 98% of the school. Hell, they can go teach all the Gryffindor students, right? And fuck, none of you are there, so I think they'll be fine. Dumbledore, yes, had constipated the Sidio camera. He had trouble taking a dump with it? Was he trying to film a dump and he was constipated? How about confiscated? they took of me naked. Once again, hun, you weren't naked. You were wearing a lot of clothes for someone to actually claim they were naked. I put up my middle finger at them. We went over this really, really early at the beginning of your story. You flipped them off, you stuck your middle finger out, you gave them the finger. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Ebony, if it's the main character, we can at least spell it right. I need to tell you, Y-O-U, something will not even go down what that could be construed as. He said in a V period serious voice. V period has never been a slang for very. Very. It's not even a long word, just very. Serious voice giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know I fucking hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you. I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before being gothic, and you just said he was a Satanist. That's as far from a prep in your category as possible. No, Ennaby, man, I think he's getting you confused with maybe some other chick. From Gryffindor, maybe. How about Ebony? Hagrid says. Those are not roses. What, are they goths? Goths? Two, you poser prep. Again, he's not. He just told you he's a Satanist. I asked because I was angry that he brought me pink roses. Not every goth hates the color pink. You can have actually a lot of pink and black goth dresses. Think you haven't been going to Hot Topic enough, actually. If you're going to reference it, you should maybe look at some of the shit they sell. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton pee video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snap. Alright, is that supposed to be like a personal video? Because if that's just a pee video, man, Snape, you didn't mention Snape and Lupin were doing that, and I think that's maybe supposed to be like a Paris Hilton sex video or porn video. Is that what the P dash is for? How about just a Paris Hilton sex tape made from your shower scene? No, he saved you from getting a Paris Hilton sex tape made because Snape and Lupin were filming you in the shower, who masturbated. Get rid of the author's note. Sorry. And it's masturbated, so your author's note, yeah, I'm sorry, it was incorrect. To it, he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. These aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. Unnecessary capitalization. And where is this if you wanted honesty? He's told you these aren't roses, and you don't, that's unnecessary. He can have this evil look in his eye, and we can go to something he's muttering. That's not a spell, that's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. You don't correct someone wisely, you just corrected him. And once again, since I get it, you want to reference MCR, but it really has no point in this, so we can just cut that out, because once again, he can just start muttering. I'm guessing there's going to be a spell he's going to mutter to start doing something, so why don't we just do that? I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords. No E there. Then he screamed, Pedalus Marengo, Mi Crimically Ramasio. But see, if you had this author's note out of here, we could just finish this, and this would actually sound pretty cool. It'd be Petulus Marengo, Mi Crimically Ramasio, Imo Noto Okeo. Even Okeo, even though it sounds a little hokey by itself, when you run the whole spell together, it sounds pretty neat. But you got to have this author's note. Just get rid of it, and this scene, this whole little image goes a lot better. And it reads better, too. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. That's a pretty cool image, actually. And it was black. Redundant. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you now. WTF is Draco. Now, what the fuck is Draco? Well, Draco is spelled with a C, and what the fuck is Draco? He's a vampire. You said that in Chapter 11, which is why I called major bullshit when you had him suicided, but apparently you misspoke. I was right. He's fine. Just being either fucked around with by Voldemort, or at least just being held captive by him. So how about WTF? How about what? Oh, I apologize. You actually did say is Draco. I apologize. You've had such a streak going. I could have swore that was WTF. What the fuck? Oh, I guess you're going for where the fuck? No, I don't apologize then, because WTF is not where the fuck. WTF is what the fuck. So, of course I'm right. I'm editing this. Where the fuck, you would actually need to spell that out. WTF its definition is set in stone. It's what the fuck. Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. About C, once again with S-E-E. You see, Y-O-U, C, Eneby. Well, at least he's, no, see, you're still saying she's Eneby. It's Ebony. Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. When did Dumbledore get here? You have to introduce characters a little bit better than that. You can't just have them walk in. To see what? No. You're not even trying anymore. Dumbledore has never talked like this. Ever. He's had some pretty interesting dialogue, but this is complete just not trying. So this is 2 TWO CSEE. What is in the flames? Author's note gone. You must find yourself first. You don't need the K. You just have to have that. And once again, rewrite that in proper English, because Dumbledore hasn't talked like he hasn't been. You haven't been this bad for a long. You haven't been this bad up until now. Yeah, maybe in your author's note, but not for your characters. So let's get it together. I found myself okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked, one letter off. I guess he didn't have a headache, but that's spelled right, so yay. Or else he would have said something back. Hagrid, you really want him to be Hagrid. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed. You are a liar, Professor Dumbledore. Dumbledore, drop the E. You are a liar. And why did he storm off back into his bed? Last you saw him, he was in the courtyard or outside, because you had him run outside and say all this. And now he's visiting you in the hospital. Does he live in the hospital? Is his bed like right across from you? And once again, you call Snape and Lupin pervs. Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff. No, not gonna tolerate it. You are specific. We want specifics. Then I put on black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. See, this is why you can't get away with saying stuff. I put my hair all out around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. And I put on blood-red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl. When did we start talking Japanese? Bloody Mary said sadly. Thanks. You do too, I said sadly too, but I was still upset. I slit both of my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. Why didn't you do that? See? Why didn't you do that before and, instead of grabbing that cup of blood? See? My point stands. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snape and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. You could maybe just, I don't know, most windows have a way to shut it. I guess you can draw the shades, or maybe you could have just, I don't really know. I mean, why are you worried about it? You've already shot them and zapped them. Are they repeat offenders? Seems a little silly. And once again, you weren't naked. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magic creatures. He was in the hair of it? Well, if he's a normal-sized human, that's a big fucking creature. Oh, the Hall of Magic. Cold magic creatures. Redundant magical creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hey, at least there's people in another place. So everyone's maybe in Hufflepuff. Gryffindor is just abandoned still. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in a Waquali said way. Waquali? Alright. Equally said way? How about equally sad way? We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Again, you ripped and ripped and ripped on Draco for cheating and emotional cheating and being mad. And yet you have no problem just jumping on Potter. Once again, shame on you. You're the one that's cheating, literally, right now. Your poor boyfriend's being held captive somewhere, or worse, and you're fucking around? Shame, shame, shame. Stop it now, you horny simpletons, shouted Professor McGoggle. McGoggle, how about McGonagall, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. Although if she was McGoggle, it would make sense that she could watch you with the goggles, but McGonagall. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. Hey, you jumped on him, actually. You know I loved Draco. Then why just... Okay, there it is. It's out in the open. You loved him, so it was a passing thing. You had your moment. He's with Voldemort now, and you're okay with it. Oh, that D is not supposed to be there, is it? Love Draco. I shouted and then I ran away angrily. Just then he started to scream, OMFG, no, my scar hurts. You had this at the beginning, I think. And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. Alright, no, don't try to pull something from the beginning. We talked about this. This would have been good at where it is. You can't mention it at the beginning and then have the dramatic effect at the end. It just doesn't work. So either take it out. Well, let's just take it out at the beginning. So that's gone. Done. So this is brand new. Just then he started to scream, OMFG, no, my scar hurts. And then his eyes rolled up. You can only see his red whites. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and then I had a vision what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him... We can read this because we corrected it before, so we don't have to read it again. Voldemort has him bondage. Really just doesn't work. What was happening to Draco? I'll tell you what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him captive. Yes. Perfect. Author's note, even though it doesn't say author's note. Special thanks to Raven, my gothic blood sister. What the fuck? You are supposed to write, a couple letters off, this... Hey, Raven, do you know where my sweater eye? Is that supposed to be is? And then how about we put a question mark after that? And also, Raven's supposed to write your story? No, no, no. Authors write their own stories, hun. If you can't, we can't call this My Immortal by Tara Gillespie if you're having a ghostwriter. Nope. Doesn't work. That would be My Immortal by Tara Gillespie and whoever. So unless you're doing a co-author thing, this is your story, your author's name's on it, then you have to write this. So we'll just forget about Raven writing. How about you just keep doing your own work? We'll leave it at that. All right. Whew. Well, that was just one chapter. Oh, Alright, chapter 13 is looks like it's not too long. Why don't we go ahead and 14 is not too bad either. So let's see. We can probably get through it. Chapter 13. Author's note. Raven, thanks for helping me again. I'm sorry I took your poster of Gerard, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. Preps. Hey, at least we're blaming the right people. Stop. And we can take out the capitalization though. Flaming. And also, not necessary that you borrowed her poster. Who cares? Doesn't have anything to do with your story. Your readers won't give a shit. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore. How about just Dumbledore again, unless he really does have a fucking cousin. We both yelled. Dumbledore came then, not there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. To be fair, you have been treating him like shit. Voldemort, Voldemort really does have an extended family. Voldemort has Draco, we shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. Ooh, sinister. No, don't. We need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn. This guy's already said fuck. How about damn? Don't give a damn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. That's stone cold. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. Don't need the author's note. I like that. I do. I like that Dumbledore's got a set and he's just cold. That's actually really good. Because, like I said, you guys have been treating him like shit. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. Okay, if he had a brainstorm... No, if you're trying to say he just got an idea, how about I have an idea instead of I had an idea? That would be in the past tense. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand. Hey, at least it's his wand this time. And did a spell. Then, suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair. Voldemort's lair. About just Voldemort. We ran in with our wands out. Just as we heard a croon voice? How about just heard a voice say, a la cadaver, once again. I think it's supposed to be with a C to mimic cadaver. It was, unnecessary ellipse, Voldemort. Hey, it's still Voldemort. Yay. That wasn't so bad. Let's keep going. Chapter 14. Author's note. Fuck, I'm telling you, you were going to spell this word correctly with a C. Off preps, okay. Raven, thanks for helping again. I'm sorry I couldn't or could not update, but I was depressed and I had to go to the hospital 'cause I slit my wrist. Oh, hon, I hope you're alright, but once again, well, I guess that could be left in, although hopefully you're not just doing that to get sympathy from viewers. I mean, if you really are depressed, I really hope you get help. That's really sad to hear. I'm really sorry. P.S. I'm nut, but you gotta quit nutting. Updating till you give me 10 God revows. We are not going to hold our audience captive. I'm sorry you're depressed, but it still doesn't give you a right to hold your audience hostage. Warning, some of this chapter is extremely how about scary? How about viewer excretion advised? Viewer excretion advised? Is it scary or is it nauseous? Or is it nauseating rather? How about viewer discretion is advised? We ran to where Voldemort. Man, this guy has got a lot of relatives. How about Voldemort again? It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. See, you spelled Cedric right there. Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Okay, if you knew the guy's name was Snaketail, then don't say it was the fat guy who killed Cedric. Say, Voldemort wasn't there, Snaketail was. And he was torturing Draco, who was crying tears of blood. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps. It's the ultimate insult, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. No, you didn't say you ran in with the gun. You said you ran in with your wands. So you should have zapped him with your wand, not the gun. If you had the gun, you should have pulled the gun out. He then suddenly he looked at me. How about he just suddenly looked at me and fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. Ebony, I love you when you have sex with me. Wow, need some spacing issues there, he said. It's kind of really taken away from your character that everyone falls in love with them. I mean, it's you're kind of turning her into a bit of a female version of James Bond. And hey, I like James Bond, but I'll be the first to admit, it's kind of just really takes away from his character that like every person of the opposite sex just falls for him. So, I mean, no one could say no. No one can't find Ebony beautiful. It really just takes away. I think she would have a little bit stronger of a character development if, she had to overcome some obstacles, or if just people just didn't care. It just might make her a little bit more interesting. Huh? I asked. Ebony, I love you. Will you have sex with me? Hey, you spaced it out there? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. Crudely? What kind of a laugh is a crude laugh? How about cruelly? What the fuck? You torture my boyfriend? Is he? Oh, big talk. Torturing a boyfriend. You were fucking Potter not 5 minutes ago. And then you expect me to fuck you? Once again, why not? You fucked Potter. God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard. I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. What'd you stab him with? The gun? Does the gun have like a fucking bayonet on it? Clarification, please. Blood poured you, put a U in there, out of it like a fountain. Okay, that's an interesting image. No, he screamed. He started screaming and running around, then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Once again, burst. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. Why is he wearing high heels? You didn't say Voldemort was a transvestite or freaky deaky. Or maybe he did have Draco in bondage. I guess that really could explain why Draco was crying tears of blood, why he'd be wearing the high heels. So if that's the case, I'm just going to picture Draco then in the gimp suit. So that's it. It's done. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. Why'd you fly back? Vampire just gave you a spell to get you there. Couldn't he just teleport you back? Seems a little out of your way. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There I started crying. How about then I started crying? And why would Vampire just go away? Vampire was the one spearheaded this fucking operation. Shouldn't he at least check and make sure Draco's okay? What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. Wow, he recovered really quick. He had a sex pack. A sex pack? Is that a euphemism for a penis? Oh, a six-pack, so he's ripped. Okay. And a really huge you-know-what. I warned you. I warned you. That's it. I gave you fair warning. I told you not to pull this you-know-what shit. So that's it. As an editor, I am changing this right now. He had a six-pack and a really huge... Let me think. What could he have? What would you not want him to have? Let's see. About a really huge... Oh, I'm thinking of one. I don't care if this takes time. I warned you about this. Let's see. What could he have a really huge of? How about he had... Oh, this would get you real good. How about he had a really huge cross? Yes, he had a really huge cross dildo that he was going to fuck you with. How about that? Yes, that's what he has. And everything. So it's the whole package. If you don't want me to put that, maybe you could just write out the thing next time. It's so unfair, I yielded. Yeah, I bet it's unfair. You're gonna get fucked with a cross dildo. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here, except for Bloody Mary because she's not ugly or anything? Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such fucking sluts, answered Draco. Well, Draco, for someone who doesn't like sluts, you're sort of dating one. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. They didn't confess they were in love with you. They were just getting off to you. Lots of people jerk off to shit. Doesn't mean they're in love with it. And you weren't naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me. No, that's bullshit. At the beginning a couple chapters ago, you said Hagrid never said that. You said Cedric said that. Vampire likes me. Not really. Vampire seemed more concerned about Draco. And now even Snaketail's in love with me. Well, Snaketail's dead. You stabbed him through the heart. So he was in love with you, or he wanted to have sex with you. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. We're getting rid of the author's note. I'm good at too many things. Yeah, you're good at fucking up relationships, that's for damn sure. I don't really know if you're good at a lot of good things so far. That remains to be seen. We'll see. Why can't I get rid of this ridiculous capitalization? Just be normal. It's a fucking curse. Well, if you were normal, you'd probably be like one of those preps you hate. So you'd want to be abnormal. You'd want to be different. You want to stand apart. You just maybe want to be ugly, I guess. So you don't want to be normal. So that's not something you want. I shouted and then I ran away. You're in your room. You ran away from your room? Why didn't you just kick Draco out? Seriously. Alright, well that's going to do it for Mr. Casual Scum reads and edits. Hopefully you guys like the cross dildo. Really stick it to her. But I warned her about that you-know-what shit. Alright guys, so stay tuned for the next episode where we try to get through a few more chapters. This has been Mr. Casual Scum signing off. You guys take care of yourselves. Stay tuned for the next episode. Later.